Hello everyone, Jesse Webb, Traders Pro. Market conditions bullish in a bull market still and continuing that overall uptrend. Nice momentum, seen the last 2 or 3 days on S&P 500, just kind of pausing right here, and I've got some support levels which definitely held up. Now we're working towards the upper end of that range. We're seeing some really strong sentiment moving higher, momentum. Breadth is still lagging slightly, but still working in the right direction. Would like to see that pop just a little bit higher to the upside. Also seeing buy-sell ratio, some nice numbers here on buy-sell ratio, which is our overall indication of the entire database and the number of buys and sells inside the database. Right at par, right about even here, 1.22. Moved aggressively to the upside off of these lows and is now just kind of settling in right here, which is not surprising. We'll look at that S&P 500 chart. In fact, let's jump over to that right here. If we take a look at some of the market indices, we've got S&P 500. It rallied really hard off those lows. Take a look at a little bit longer term perspective here, bouncing off of this support range, moving right straight back up through that 382 level, is now testing this upper range, this 439, 438 level of resistance. Wouldn't be surprised now just to see, a little either a little bit of a pause like it's doing here, or a little counter trend, or just some sideways action, potentially a retracement. Potentially even a retracement back down to retest these lows if things were to kind of slow down and weaken a little bit. But any kind of a counter trend right here should be considered a good buying opportunity in this overall uptrend now, as things are starting to show some strength back to the upside. We're also seeing on bonds, we talked about this, where we've seen the TLT now have a real strong move back up. Now back up in that upper buy momentum zone, or not momentum zone, but it is back up into a buy signal versus these deep oversold levels that we were at a few weeks ago. And so now we've had this counter trend up, moving higher. And remember that as bonds are moving higher, interest rates are moving lower. That's what the market wants to see at these levels, is for interest rates to start to stabilize and potentially even start to move back down again. SHY also, which is the short-term bonds, moving back up, not aggressively, but nonetheless moving in the right direction. If we take a look at sectors, we're seeing sector strength. We saw yesterday a couple of stocks, a couple of ETFs tick back down, energy-based materials, and a few others. We had a few more up in buy range, so just some consolidation here across the board, and after a really, really strong run up here. Let's take a look at a few different stocks to consider for today in the new buy list. DAKT, this one has gone back and forth from hold to buy several different times, but maintains that momentum zone, and it's got a really nice fundamental profile in addition to its trend profile here, where you've got some nice gains on as a company as a whole. Remember that ultimately it's the company is earning money, the stock price is going to be going higher and higher, and the stock price is the present value of the future earnings of the company. So ultimately, the company has to perform in order for the stock to go higher. And in this case, the company looks really good. Lots of green across the board. Momentum's looking good, and a solid confirmation bar. If we get a breakout above this, this $10 range, could see significant more upside on DAKT. If we look at, let me go back to this version of the scan. TBLA. This is Taboola. An online ads company, ad server essentially, and big gap lower, drop lower, and then immediately reverse and headed higher. Could be an earnings on that yesterday, not entirely sure, but back up in the momentum zone. Okay, and remember that this, when we're talking about these price patterns and these momentum charts, a lot of times this chop, if you just kind of envision this as being gone now, Okay, this is essentially what we want to be working on. We want to be starting, as of today. We're not as concerned about this anymore. This is past. This is over. Now this stock is saying, "Hey, I want to be up in this direction. I want to be moving this direction." And yes, I was down here, but now I'm not. So forget about this, right? So we're looking forward, and this is where the stock says it needs to be. It says it's telling us it wants to be at this level, 16% higher. The market is telling us that and confirming that. So we're looking for that overall momentum direction and trade. It's in the buy zone. It's got a nice bullish profile moving higher. $4 stock could break out, be a nice breakout trade for some continuation on Taboola. INTA, this is a little bit deeper in its retracement on that 6-month time frame, but on the 1-year time frame, really solid, holding at that 61850 level and then breaking up above this next level, and then possibly breaking up above this next rung right here, this $39 range of resistance. And if it can break up above and hold that 39 range and then let that 39 create some support, then that 43 area should be the next stop for this stock. Granted, anytime you see a big move like that, this is 11% on the day yesterday. Could retrace back down, maybe find some resistance right here, but keep an eye on this stock as well. It has been a high flyer, had a really nice run last year, and has that potential to be able to do that as it's working higher in that stair-stepping process. You think about all these different levels right here, and as it's working up above those, it climbs one of them. Here it broke through it, runs into resistance, retraces, comes here, breaks through it. Now potentially could retest, look for the breakthrough again. And the retest is just moving higher, pulling back, finding a floor, finding that stair, stepping up to the next one. Okay, then it finds the floor again, steps up to that next one. So looking for these when you're connecting your Fibonacci levels, your swing high, swing low, it's automatically giving you the zones to be focusing on. And as a stock is making that progressive move higher, then that's additional confirmation that it's working in the right direction. One of the ways to be able to use the tool in looking for your ranges and your zones. Once one of those levels is broken to the upside or downside, the next one becomes kind of a magnet for it to be attempting to attain. Here's another stock, looked almost identical minus the retracement on that pattern right here. So Rambus, semiconductor stocks, we're also seeing some of those starting to light up here again. Let's see what sectors are leading currently. If we go to the sector scan, we've still got construction, utilities, aerospace working well, and in that overall group. That'll do it for today's update. If you don't have access to the site and software, you can sign up with the link below, and we look forward to having you. Have a fantastic day today.